One of these SUVs is the undisputed king of comfort. The other is arguably the best value in the entire luxury market. But one of them has a hidden flaw that you won't find on any spec sheet, a deal breaker for some. By the end of this video, you'll know which is which. Let's be real. Buying a luxury SUV is a massive decision. It's a huge investment, and with so many incredible options out there for 2025, getting it wrong is an expensive mistake you have to live with every single day. This isn't just about getting from A to B. You're buying a statement piece, your personal sanctuary on wheels, and a serious piece of tech. Get it wrong, and you're stuck with a ride that rattles your teeth, tech that makes you want to throw your phone out the window, or just that nagging feeling that you left the better SUV back on the lot. That's why today we're putting two of the most compelling choices in the entire luxury SUV space under the microscope. In one corner, you have the benchmark, the one everyone tries to beat when it comes to comfort and class, the 2025 Mercedes-Benz GLC. And in the other corner, the athletic challenger that's been seriously shaking things up, the 2025 Genesis GV70. One brings a legacy of vault-like silence and stunning tech. The other crashes the party with audacious design and a driving experience that seems almost too good to be true for the price. We're going to find out which one really delivers, covering everything from how they feel on the road to the tiny details inside. By the end of this, you'll know exactly where your hard-earned money should go. First up, the icon, the 2025 Mercedes-Benz GLC. For a lot of people, when you say compact luxury SUV, this is the vehicle that pops into their head. After its big redesign, the 2025 model rolls in with a look of pure, sophisticated elegance. It doesn't need to scream for attention. Instead, it has this quiet confidence, with its smooth body lines, subtly refined grille, and slim headlights. It's handsome, mature, and you know it's a Mercedes the second you see it. This is the SUV you get when you appreciate timeless luxury and that three-pointed star on the hood. But where Mercedes really flexes its muscles is on the inside. Stepping into the GLC is like walking into a tech-forward sanctuary. You simply can't miss that massive 11.9-inch portrait-style touchscreen that just flows out of the center console. It's running the latest MBUX system, and paired with the 12.3-inch digital gauge cluster, the whole cockpit feels like it was pulled from a concept car. The quality is just fantastic, from the perfect stitching in the leather to the real wood trim and the satisfying heavy click of the metal switches. It feels every bit as expensive as it is, in the best way possible. Oh, and we have to talk about the 64-color ambient lighting. At night, it turns the cabin into a high-end lounge on wheels. On the practical side, the GLC holds its own. The cabin is roomy for 5, with plenty of head and leg room for adults in the front and back. Cargo space is solid for the class, starting at 21.9 cubic feet behind the seats and opening up to over 56 cubic feet when you fold them down, plenty for a weekend escape or a serious Costco run. So, how does it drive? In a word, smooth. Unbelievably smooth. The standard GLC 300 runs a 2-liter turbo 4 with a mild hybrid system, good for 255 horsepower. It's got enough punch to merge onto the highway with confidence, and that hybrid tech makes the engine start-stop almost imperceptible. But the GLC's defining trait is its ride. It's all about isolation and comfort. The suspension is tuned to be pillowy soft, erasing bumps and potholes, and the cabin is so well insulated from road and wind noise, it's almost spooky. However, that intense focus on comfort comes with a trade-off. The steering feels a little distant, and it doesn't give you a ton of feedback from the road. It's perfectly safe and secure, but it's not exactly begging you to go find a fun, curvy road. Some have even called the ride a bit wallowy in its softest setting, although sport mode does help. This is a vehicle built to soothe you, not thrill you. And while that giant screen looks amazing, the MBUX system can be a maze of menus, and those touch-sensitive controls on the steering wheel can be pretty frustrating to use. The 2025 GLC 300 starts right around $49,000. It's pure Mercedes. Comfortable, classy, and oozing brand prestige. All right, now for the SUV that's been making all the German brands sweat. The 2025 Genesis GV70. If the GLC is classically handsome, the GV70 is a fashion-forward athlete. From that signature crest grille to the dramatic two-line LED lights that wrap around the car, the GV70 has an undeniable presence. It looks fresh, sleek, and modern, a real head-turner in a parking lot full of lookalikes. And that bold attitude carries right on inside. Seriously, the interior of the GV70 is just stunning. It's all sweeping lines and unique elliptical shapes that create a cockpit that feels both driver-focused and like a piece of art. The materials feel incredible, with available Nappa leather, a knurled glass rotary shifter, and real aluminum trim. Honestly, the interior quality in here arguably rivals or maybe even beats its German competition. That's a huge deal. Your command center is a beautiful widescreen 14.5-inch touchscreen, which, for 2025, finally gets wireless Apple CarPlay and Android Auto as standard. Genesis also loaded the GV70 with cool luxury perks, like an available fingerprint scanner to start the car, and a driver's seat with a basic massage function. Space is good up front, and the back is perfectly adequate, though it might feel a touch cozier for taller passengers than the GLC. But cargo space is fantastic, offering a generous 28.9 cubic feet behind the rear seats and expanding to 56.9 cubic feet when folded down. But the GV70's real ace in the hole? Performance. The standard engine is a 2.5-liter Turbo 4 that makes a stout 300 horsepower and 311 pound-feet of torque. That's a full 45 horsepower more than the base GLC, and trust me, you feel it. Plus, all-wheel drive is standard on every single GV70. If that's not enough, you can step up to a 3.5-liter twin-turbo V6 with a thrilling 375 horsepower that'll rocket this SUV to 60 in under 5 seconds. On the road, the GV70 is a completely different animal. The steering is sharp and responsive, and when you pop it in Sport Plus mode, the whole vehicle feels nimble and alive. No, it's not quite as dialed in as a Porsche Macan, but it offers a genuinely fun-to-drive experience that's rare in this segment. It even has an optional camera system that reads the road ahead and pre-adjusts the suspension to handle bumps, trying to give you the best of both worlds, sporty handling and a comfortable ride. And the kicker? The price. The 2025 Genesis GV70 starts at just over $47,000. For less money, you get standard all-wheel drive, more power, and a laundry list of features that are expensive options on the Mercedes. And it's all backed by the best warranty in the luxury business. All right, let's break this down, side by side. Performance. Point goes to Genesis, hands down. The base GV70 comes standard with 300 horsepower and all-wheel drive. The GLC offers 255 horsepower, and you have to pay extra for AWD. If you want more power and a sportier feel right out of the gate, Genesis has the clear edge. Luxury and comfort. This is where the GLC strikes back. If your definition of luxury is pure, blissful comfort, the Mercedes is king. Its ride is just sublime, and the cabin is a masterclass in quiet serenity. The Genesis interior is gorgeous and packed with quality materials, but the GLC's overall ambiance, that flowing dash, the incredible ambient lighting, delivers that classic, coddling luxury experience Mercedes is famous for. Technology. This one's a real toss-up. Mercedes wows you with the sheer spectacle of its giant dual screens. It's a visual knockout, but it can be complicated to use. The GV70's single widescreen display is also beautiful, and most people find its interface a bit more intuitive and user-friendly. Now that it has wireless CarPlay and Android Auto standard, for sheer ease of use, we have to give a slight nod to Genesis. Practicality. They're both 5-seaters with very similar passenger room. When it comes to cargo, the GV70 offers 28.9 cubic feet behind the rear seats, and the GLC has 21.9. Fold the seats down, and they're nearly identical at 56.3 and 56.9 respectively. But for day-to-day hauling with the seats up, that noticeably bigger trunk gives the GV70 a real practical advantage. Value? It's not even a contest. The Genesis GV70 costs less, gives you more standard power, standard all-wheel drive, and more standard features. Throw in that industry-best warranty, and the GV70 delivers an almost unbelievable amount of car for the money. So, where does that leave you? Which one of these should you actually spend your money on? It really boils down to what you value most in a vehicle. You should buy the 2025 Mercedes-Benz GLC if you're all about comfort, quiet, and that undeniable brand prestige. It is a rolling sanctuary. If you want a serene, pillowy, soft ride that completely isolates you from the chaos of the outside world and an interior that feels like a futuristic luxury lounge, the GLC is an absolutely outstanding choice. It's the definition of modern comfort.